So after yesterday's post about safely resuming stretching with Circus Arts while you're pregnant, the big question that I got was, how do I know if I'm engaging my deep core? So the big wrap up yesterday was keep stretching, stretching's great, stretching is valuable, but stretching into your end range of motion passively can maybe put a little too much stress on your ligaments or the soft tissue that is holding your bone to bone in the pelvis and in other parts of your body. And those are the tissues that are targeted by hormones to soften to allow for growth of baby and for birth of baby. So we want to have support of our deepest core muscles, our transverse abdominis, our pelvic floor, and our diaphragm and our multifidus, which are some small muscles on our back, also link up with those muscles or link up with the transverse abdominis and the pelvic floor at the same time. So they all work in synergy. But big question was, how do I know if I am firing my deep core? So quick wrap up here, your transverse abdominis, the easiest place to feel it. I'm wearing my sweet ab shirt so you all can see. Too bad it's a male. If someone can come up with a pregnant belly ab shirt, I would love that. Okay. So you're gonna find the pointy parts of your hip bones. You're gonna go about 2 finger widths inside, so towards your belly button. I use 2 fingers. Then you're gonna take a big belly breath in, so you're letting your stomach come out. Notice my shoulders are relaxed. That's not a belly breath. I'm expanding my ribs. Big belly breath in, and then on exhale, the first thing I want to think about pulling in is my lower abdominals. So not sucking in here, that's what a lot of people do. That actually puts more pressure down on the pelvic floor. We're pulling in our lower belly. On exhale, I feel nice tightness across here, and under my fingertips, I feel increased firmness. So actually on inhale, when I'm filling my belly up, even though I'm filling up here, I feel softer here. There's more spring. On exhale, I can change the shape of my mouth. So like you're blowing out through a straw and really activates this lower abdominals where you can feel your transverse abdominis. Your transverse abdominis actually runs from sternum to pubic bone and all the way around to our low back, but it's deep to other muscles. That's why this is the best place to feel it. So that's why we want to get that good activation before a deep stretch around our pelvis, because it actually wraps around your entire pelvis and pulls in before a stretch, okay? So that's the first thing. So doing that by itself with breathing, maybe standing, hovering over a table or a countertop, lying on your back, trying to get that in different positions so that when you are doing an activity, you can cue in to exhaling, and then it automatically cues in. But it may take you a while to get that coordination down. So don't get frustrated, really work on getting that coordination first. The second part of your deep core to coordinate at the same time before a deep stretch is your pelvic floor. So there is a video post on my Instagram called Am I Doing It Right? Or How Do I Know I'm Doing It Right? That talks about self-monitoring if you are pulling up and in with your pelvic floor. The big things that you want to watch out for, some people compensate and think that pulling in with their pelvic floor is actually clenching their butt muscles or doing this posterior pelvic tilt, and that's not really necessary for your pelvic floor. You should be able to contract your pelvic floor, closing and lifting, like you're stopping the flow of urine or stopping the flow of gas without anyone seeing it around you. So practice that as well. Can you pull in into a closure, thinking about closing and opening, and then lift up, thinking about lifting up through an elevator, or some people like to give the visual of drinking something through a straw, so closing up and in. And then can you pair that at the same time as pulling in your lower abdominals or activating your transverse abdominis? So we call the linking of those two things a pelvic brace in the PT world. So if you ever hear someone say, do the pelvic brace before an activity, such as deep stretching, it means cueing in your transverse abdominis. And at the same time that I was doing that, I pulled up and in on my pelvic floor. That provides nice compression of your pelvis, which is nice while you're pregnant and you want to continue a stretching practice It's not necessary for everything. I don't want you thinking you have to walk around bracing your abdominals, pulling in your pelvic floor, but working on that coordination is going to help it kick in automatically when it's supposed to.